Hi, beauties and tribe. I thought I would get on and share about my spring equinox experience. It was quite intense. It's funny, the March had this March 2022 supposedly has some of the best energies on it for the year. And yet it was rather challenging for me. Of course, it is my birthday month. And I don't know, I just feel like emotionally it's been very hard on me. I feel like I'm over it now and past it, and I'm feeling much better because I definitely was doing a lot of praying and invoking, and it kind of culminated where I was just finally like just really fed up. And it's funny, solstice was on this past Sunday, the 20th, and normally that's my beach day, and I was just led to do something different, and I was at home all day. I was led to actually do a medicine journey by myself, which was the first one I've done that way, but I kind of knew that I was going to do that at some point soon because I just needed a breakthrough. And I tend to channel a lot when I'm on plant medicine, and it just gives me a lot of messages and information that I need to continue. And so anyway, that was the day that it happened. It was just in the flow, and I went. It was definitely a dark night of the soul experience, and it was a good reminder that, and I wanted to encourage others who feel this way too. There have been moments, I want to say that this was the third big time that this happened, where I just needed to rant like to the universe or to God, Goddess, Mother, Father, God, where there's been these moments where I just needed to get it out of my system and rant and tell them exactly how I feel and how discontented I am with things. And even to the point where I'm like, you need to do something about this because I'm doing everything I know to do. I'm on top of it and it's just not working or whatever. And, I always have really big breakthroughs whenever I've done that. And I think a lot of times we're conditioned to be nice and respectful and, goody two shoes. And honestly, it's when my prayers have that much like emotion behind them, even if it's anger and angst and frustration and all that, they hear that. It puts a lot of power behind the prayer. And sometimes we do just need to unload, like I kind of felt like it was a big purging of, hey, universe, this is how I really feel, and I'm going to be the voice of many, I feel, when I say these things. And I think a lot of us were feeling kind of the culmination building up to things really popping on our planet and moving in a good direction. So it's almost kind of like the darkest before the dawn, and I'm just trying to hang in there, and just feeling that pressure, I think, before things break through and we start to have all these like financial reset and just, things starting to show through is going in the right direction where we can feel it maybe more on in our daily lives. So, I needed to complain or share my frustrations, and it was about our culture even, like, and some of you will relate to this, so that's why I want to share it, because, sometimes we are trying to hang in there and be good and have a good attitude and not complain and all that, but sometimes I also need to just state like this honest, transparent truth that I'm feeling. And like one example is I was like, universe, if I died today, I would just feel like, God, that was just a lot of friggin' work. All I did was work, and it was, a lot about survival because I'm a single woman and I've been doing that my whole life. There's been brief moments where I had a partner that was generous, but for the most part, I've been self-supporting, and I don't have a family that is hugely involved in my life. So I feel alone in the world a lot of times. And I feel like I am going to be partnering this year because it is the year of partnerships with all the twos. And it's in the cards for me this year, especially toward the end of the year is when it looks like it definitely is, there's possibilities. But I was just like, I'm so in at the end of a cycle. I was just so clear. This is the end of a cycle for me, and that I am so ready for the new cycle to be here because I, like many star seeds, and those and others probably feel this way too, where it's like I'm so sick of 3D and I'm so done with the matrix, and yet 5D is not here yet. So it's like I'm caught between worlds where the better isn't here yet, like the provision and the financial abundance and all the things that are coming to us aren't here yet. And yet I can't keep living this 3D matrix life either. Like I'm over it. I'm done. I don't have the energy or the bandwidth to keep reinventing myself or, working like this or whatever. And my industry is definitely one that changed quite a bit over COVID, where I don't have access to the marketing methods that and online sites in order to advertise the way I did then. So it's kind of, not working the same. Anyway, and then I was saying things like, in our culture, if I died, it's like it doesn't matter how beautiful I am inside and out. It seems like it didn't even matter. Like I'm still alone and I'm still working too hard, and if I died, I'd just be like, God, I'm glad that's over, And so I was just having to get this out of my system, and I also realized that, what kept coming to me, it's not like I got any huge revelations. I just kind of needed to almost like get it out of my body. And I did wake up feeling a lot better the next day. But what keep coming to me is that we really need to stick together during this time. It is the darkest before the dawn, before things like Trump comes back into office. The financial reset happens, which is a totally different, instead of being like a debt survival system, it's more like an abundance provision template that we live, more like a heaven on earth. And I know for some of you that sounds really far out, but you'll see. Watch the next several months, and it's going to be rolling out. And it keeps getting delayed, and that's partly why I've been frustrated, because actually the financial reset was supposed to happen this month, and then it got delayed, and it's like, how many delays do we have to live through? Like, I've been waiting years for this to happen, and I feel like I'm kind of on hold as far as my dreams, because I'm waiting to be able to move forward on some projects. And so anyway, I encourage you to what really comes in handy in times like this, when you're having a tower moment or a life crisis moment, is to do a medicine journey. A lot of times will bring a breakthrough, and just even like I didn't hold back. I just let myself say whatever I needed to. Oh, how do you like the stripes on my arms? That's cool. Just say how you really feel, because, I work so hard to be the best me as I can for, to be a light to the world and what I'm doing in Tantra and relationships and, posting on YouTube. And I don't always feel like I receive back in equal measure. Even in my relationships, it feels like I'm investing in a lot of things, but it doesn't always come back either, and I must have a lot of good karma built up over my lifetime is all I can say, and I think it's all going to pay off, once we actually enter into this true golden age, for sure, because I already know how good it's going to be. So that's going to be kind of like the reward. But if you need to do that, because I know I needed to just get it out of my system. And sometimes, I've told myself, oh, I don't want to give it energy. I don't want to, that's toxic or whatever. But actually, sometimes you need to get really gutturally honest with, hey, universe, this kind of sucks. And how am I supposed to live in between worlds when I know as much as I know and still be okay with this, and then wait and keep waiting through these delays when I know what's coming is so good, and yet I can't do anything about it. Like there's a certain level of helplessness, I guess, that I was feeling, and frustration. But I do feel a lot better. And of course, all my prayers and invocations that I was led to do have been showing up, and a lot of encouragement. But really sticking together during this time was definitely a message that I got, because I live alone. I notice several of my girlfriends are gone. They either live in other parts, of the island now, or which aren't as easy to get to, or they're actually off island, and I was kind of getting isolated. And I realized how much things have changed since last year. And being my birthday month, a lot of them weren't here for my birthday, and so I was feeling really bummed, because they weren't at my birthday gathering. And yeah, so it was just all adding up to really getting to me. And so anyway, I hope that's helpful to know that if you were having some angst this weekend, or even this week, because I heard this week was a little intense too, especially Friday, I guess, which is tomorrow. Yeah, that I've just been really doing as best I can to stay on top of helping to raise my vibration, because I learned that we have to come from a high vibration if we're really going to manifest well. So it's almost like envisioning yourself there already, experiencing it, and then invoking from that place, and not really invoking from the place of frustration. And I mean, I think you can always invoke no matter what, but I did listen to a YouTube that said if you're coming from a high vibration, it's more likely to happen faster. Just like if you're in gratitude, then more good things happen to you, because you're kind of attracting that good energy in a way. So anyway, I love you, my peeps, and all my information is below if you want to connect in other ways on social media, and if you want to support me through Patreon or a donation, that's much appreciated. And I will see you on the next video.